About to enter its 5th season. It features a panel similar to the one that we have here today. They judge video submissions that are divided into 2 categories, one for instrumentalists and one for vocalists, who compete for the opportunity to come out to the Bet on Jazz studios to tape a performance. Now, the guidelines for video submission are: the performance video must be a true live recording. The entire group must be showcased, at least 2 tunes, no longer than 5 minutes each. A beta or 3/4 copy is preferred, but VHS tape is acceptable. Performances will be judged on certain criteria, which we will review later on. And one thing to note is that there is no deadline. We are always accepting tapes. So since we have said that, let's go ahead and talk about how the guidelines were created. And Willard, you were there from the beginning, and I think you were part of the think tank that came up with the guidelines. And what did you base them on?
Well, first off, the whole notion of the program is based on the fact that there are more artists out there performing jazz than just the so-called stars of the music. So this was made as an opportunity for artists who might not otherwise have that opportunity due to no record company backing and that kind of thing. And the whole notion of developing the criteria were, of course, so that we could dissect, we being the judges, could dissect the various elements of the performances that we would review.
Wow. Now, in general, how tough are you about the guidelines? I mean, especially we took a look at Vaughn's tape, and, you know, it wasn't real clear, but you could see it, you could hear it. I mean, obviously it helps to have a good quality tape, but you are a little relaxed on some of the guidelines because not everybody has a lot of money to put into the production?
Not only that, but there are occasions like that when the musicianship comes through a lot more loudly and a lot more clearly than the actual video quality. And also, you know, it's taken into account the fact that, as I said earlier, these are not artists who have major record label backing, and so we know that they don't have all of the latest technology available to them in order to tape their performances. And when you're taping a live performance, it's a dicey prospect anyway, so we take that into account.
Okay. Now, Vaughn, since we did take a look at your submission tape, when did you tape that? It was during, obviously, a live recording. Were you at a club?
That was recorded at Fleetwood's club. I'm sorry to say it's no longer there, but they did have a facility to tape us. And so we did get a reasonably nice quality tape out of it. And I wish the club were still there, but nonetheless, I think our spirit did get across. And when I hear Willard talk, a wonderful judge sees between the lines. It's not always, it's between the lines a little bit. And someone who is intelligent and creative hears that. So, and I think that's what this show does for our musicians.
Yeah, and that's a nice segue to Pierre, because Pierre, as president of your own label, I imagine that that's something that you have to do quite a bit, is kind of see between the lines a lot, because I imagine you see a lot of and listen to a lot of tapes.
Absolutely. We listen, of course, mostly to audio tapes. Lots of them are poor quality, but that doesn't matter. That's not the issue. The issue is to try to hear the music that underlies it.
Right.
And that's one of the most important things, I think, here. When people submit a tape, you know, pay a lot of attention to the audio. You know, we're not here to judge whether this is a professional video production at all. But we've had tapes, you and I have been on shows here where the audio is really hard to listen to. And it helps a lot. If you have an on-camera mic, just make sure the cameraman's up close. Don't have him way at the other end of the room so you're just hearing cathedral kind of sound. But even better is to try to have a mic right up in the group, or several mics, just so we can hear what they're doing.
Now, what about duration of the tapes? Because obviously you don't want to look at a tape that's, 10 minutes long, but I'm sure as a group or an individual, you want to showcase as much as you can, and you might want to submit more than just 1 or 2 songs. I mean, do you need to see more than 2 minutes of a tape? I mean, really, what's the optimum time to view anything?
Well, I think that if you can keep the performances at the 5-minute level, it's optimum. And to have maybe 3 selections from which to choose a term, because it gives an opportunity to choose to put your best foot forward. And you can also maybe suggest that this is what we want to submit first and foremost. But one of the main things that I always suggest is that artists make sure that they're, as they say, hot from the jump. Because we don't have a lot of time to waste to get through a lot of long, lengthy intros.
Okay.
You know, get right to the point right away and submit your strongest material. I mean, if you're stronger at playing ballads, submit ballads. But if you're stronger at playing up-tempo, that's what you should submit.
All right, makes sense to me, and we have a lot more to talk about. As a matter of fact, when we come back, we'll take a look at what the judges actually look for when they make a jazz discovery, the criteria. But right now, we want you to take a look at the 1998 Jazz Discovery winner in the instrumentalist category, guitarist Robert Lowe Jr.